deluded in thinking that you don't going to die. The fact that we are programmed to die.
What happens after?
Exactly.
No?
How can we know? Can't. Unless you're dead, then you'll find out. But before you're dead, how can you find out? Unless someone else comes and tells you.
I don't know.
Exactly. So we can find this information only when our Creator tells us. Who can be certain?
So what has he told you? Has he told you?
Our purpose of life is to worship our Creator. And worship is not simply just going to a particular place of worship and giving the gratitude to God. In everything that we do in our life, the way we live our life, if it's in accordance to God's will, that becomes worship. So if I smile at my Muslim brother, how are you brother today? That becomes worship. If I pick a thorn from the ground so that you don't get punctured or whatever, it becomes worship. Yeah? So whatever we do which pleases God in accordance to the reasons He's created us, and we follow the commands and avoid His prohibitions, this is worship. So we, leave aside, you will go. If we die, it will be too late to find out our purpose of life. Because if this was our life with a test to determine ourselves who goes to heaven and hell, because that's what our Creator tells us. He has created life and death so that He can test us who's better in deeds. So we can find out for certain whether we deserve to go to a place of paradise or go to a place of hellfire. Because He could have simply created us and put us into hell, put us into hell. Do you know why I say so? Because human beings have been created with intellect, the rational choice of using our intellect wisely or not, choosing the choice. So I can use a knife to kill someone or not to kill someone and do good things like, remove obstacles, use a knife to cut, make rolls, eat an apple and something like this, right? Knife to use in life-saving surgery, not killing them but saving them. But if we use it wrongly, then how do we expect the Creator, who is the most just, to treat us both the same? So because of the fact that we have the amount of free will given to us, and some people would not use it wisely, deliberately, and they do all the things which we know as bad. They kill, they rape, they oppress, they torture, and so on and so forth, which you and I agree is bad things. How can we expect the consequences of these evil actions by that individual? The reward they get is the same as someone who does good things. Where is the justice? It's not fair. So that is why this life is given as a test for us to know whether we deserve to go to a place of heaven, which is eternal happiness, joy, tranquility and bliss and so on, and to filter out those who become arrogant, stubborn, neglectful of the Creator, and they became their own God, and then they rejected God thereby. They're going to have to end up facing that consequence.
So if someone was making bad choices their whole life until the very last day, what do you think would happen?
God gives the chance until the point of their death, but not when the death is almost there. So when you know you're going to die for sure, it's not going to your repentance will not be accepted. It has to be before that point. The point, the interim point is before, when the death is already approaching you, like on your neck, for example, the soul's coming out. Before that time, you have all this opportunity to rectify yourself, because you may have been living your life foolishly, but God is merciful. He looks into your heart and your ability and your desire to turn to good, to return to Him, because He's not only just, He's also merciful and forgiving. So even if someone did something bad but he returned sincerely, God is merciful. But He does compensate the things that has been violated through that person's, what happened to him. If that person was a murderer and murdered people, they also need to have justice done to them. So they will be compensated. That's where the justice is then demonstrated, because God is just and merciful at the same time. So God could have simply put those people who would use this excess choice wrongly And he could have simply, because he's just, put them into hellfire for them to be punished. And those who will be good, put them into heaven. If you are in heaven, would you complain? You don't complain, you're happy. There's nothing to complain. Joy and contentment, happiness, tranquility. There's no complaint. But the one who is in hellfire, they'll say, I haven't done anything. Why are you punishing me with fire? With all punishment? If God said, but are you going to act like this? Because I knew if I put you out there, you will do these things. So I spared all of that. Put you direct in there. They'll say, but I haven't done anything. To remove that excuse, think about this way. God has placed us here and giving us that chance. Demonstrate to yourself that you are worthy of going into the place of paradise, Jannah, eternal bliss and happiness. And demonstrate to yourself that you don't deserve to go to heaven, that you earn the grace of God, His mercy. That is what we're doing here. So, if we don't use our minds properly, then how can you arrive at such conclusions to this matter, if you even don't know that you exist or not? And yet, you try to eat. When you don't eat for 3 days, for 2 weeks, you'll find out whether He exists or not for certain. But unfortunately, we have to have a discussion to bring some of these things out. Maybe one day, these two gentlemen will realize it's enough for the fun. This fun has limits. It's enough for the fun. If you want that, thank you. But face the reality, because the reality one day will take our lives. And it will be too late then to say, oh God, send me back again. You know what the Quran says? You'll be amazed. The Quran tells us about the people who are in hellfire, narrate the story about what they're saying. It tells them that they're saying, oh God, send us back. We'll behave, we'll be good. Send us back. But God says, no, you had the chance. And I told you even before, there's no sending back. Now, yeah, there is no sending back. That is why in the Quran, God tells us this is one chance. Don't miss this chance to save yourself from the hellfire. Avoid the footsteps of Shaitan, Satan, who whispers in you to do things which are wrong, which are unacceptable, which are immoral. But follow the footsteps, follow the guidance of the prophets and the messengers, follow the last prophet and the guidance that he's given you through the Quran. Then you will be on the right path of success. If you are being tutored by a good teacher, gives you all the guidance on how you should pass the exams, and you're someone, a bad friend who tells you, forget studying, forget revisioning, let's go and have some fun, let's go and do this and this, you know clearly which one is going to make you pass the exam or not. You have to take that path wisely. If you somehow got allured by, somehow got in a way mesmerized by your friends and their charms, and then went on with living your life accordingly, no studies, no revision, bunking the class, what's it called? Not going in the classes, whatever. And at the end of the day, you expect to pass the exams, then that will be the ultimate delusion. So, because we are not in a stage, hopefully like students, there's still room to mend our ways and to say, God, I will take this step now, an opportunity, because now it's getting clearer and clearer to me that the life that we have is not for vain. It is not something that you created for fun, but for a purpose. I will try my best to fulfill that purpose, and I hope and I desire your mercy and your grace, and you live your life accordingly. You lose nothing. Your life will no longer be miserable. Your life will no longer be a life of absolute confusion. Your life will be one of contentment. you will find the Quran says, "Ala bi dhikrillahi tatma'innul qulub." Do not the hearts find satisfaction in the remembrance of God. When you are connecting with God and you remember Him, you'll be so content. You'll be so peaceful in your inner self. You'll be peaceful and content. You'll live your friends, the way you look at other people. You would not be racist. You would not think, oh, these people, oh, he's black, he's white, he's fat, he's thin, he's short, he's ugly. No. You look at it in a lens of human beings. You'll have compassion. You'll have mercy. You'll have the sympathy. Outlook will change. You will say, these people are oppressing my fellow woman over there. Doesn't matter if she has a hijab on her head or not. She's a woman. You are the Muslim, go in hell. If he was a Muslim, he's not going to say, oh, she's not a Muslimah. Why am I going to save her? Don't even think that way. An oppressed person needs help, and he'll go in hell. She'll go in hell. That's the outlook. If you see some wallet on the road, something, and you open it, it's got money, credit cards. You would not go and start spending it. You will know every single penny you'll be accountable for on the Day of Judgment, because that is someone else's money. Maybe that's all they have. They've worked all their hard life to earn this money, to send their kids to school, to buy food for their children and so on, and you wasted it away. You don't even know the reality. But if you had the mentality of a Muslim, you would say, oh, now, you know what? I have to find the owner. Who is it? You'll probably wait and go around and eventually say, you know what? I don't have the time for that. Let me give it to someone. Let me take it to the security office in your work. And you know what? I found this watch, this wallet. Can you make sure it reaches to the people? It was at that time, at that place. You will try to dispose of that in a way that is appropriate. You're not going to just, yeah? This is the outlook. It will change when you connect yourself with your Creator. That is what it means to be a Muslim, someone who submits and surrender their will to the will of the Creator. Peace doesn't come that easily. Peace comes when you're connected with the reality. So when I know that I am a creation of God, how am I going to be so arrogant and say, you know what, I'm not going to die. I can control my life. I'm going to live forever. That will be a real delusion. So, if you are not a Muslim yet, I really will urge you to think, what is the Islamic message? It's no other than worshipping the one true God. That's the simple message of Islam. You worship none but God alone. You don't ascribe a partner to God and say, you know what, God has a brother or a son or a daughter or a family, or God is also my nation and my flag and my pop stars. You don't give that kind of gratitude. Only accept God. Only God to Himself. And you live your life accordingly, according to what God has said. If God says, for example, do not oppress others, you live your life accordingly, not oppressing others. So, Islamic belief system is not something you will discover which is alien to your thinking and your feeling. Yeah? I think is that your friend? You have to go, yeah? So do think about it and reflect on it a bit more.
Thank you.
Okay? Take care. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله وآخر دعوانا أن الحمد لله رب العالمين. Yep, let's go to ask if the others.
Mansur, you ask him about food. Now, where you give me this one?
Identify something and they call that invention. So if you think about it, the scientific method is still
If the camera we have today, we face one charge.
This is you.
Logic at that time, they're on the ground. If it wasn't on the ground, this has wings. They're on the ground. This one. So they went outside, that was okay.
This one and this one. For example, that's it. I don't need this one. Oh my.